Okay, everybody. I'm gonna try to film while I drive and hopefully give you some scenery along the way. I just played some tennis with my wife's acupuncturist and his friend. For the first time, they invited me to come, and he said exercise is the best medicine for a stroke victim, and so I took him up on it, and it was the hardest I've exercised since my stroke, but I was still abysmal, and but I hit a couple of good shots. But anyways, I wanted to make a video about, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, maybe create a new playlist for these types of videos. But I wanted to talk about the three kind of, not paranormal, what do you call them? Strange things that have happened to me that I can't explain, that I'd like to explain. The first one was kind of simple. I was in Japan as a young man. I was a missionary there, and up in Hokkaido. It wasn't a very big town. It was a winter night, kind of dusk, and I saw a moving object. It didn't look like it was that far away. It looked like it was traveling too smooth and too flat of a course to be a bird, and too fast to be, and it made no noise. It was this silent object that was traveling through the sky, just a little above the horizon, and it didn't look like it was too far away, but I was trying to figure out what it could be. It definitely was too close to be a satellite. It was silent. It wasn't an airplane. It was too fast and smooth to be a bird. But that was my first one. And that's all there is to it. It's just simple. So my question to you is, what do you think that would be? It had no lights, like it was just an object. Oh, and I will say, my wife had a similar experience at Grand Canyon. I didn't see it, but we were down the Grand Canyon, and she saw something going across the canyon like that. An object that it was too fast and steady to be a bird, and yet no lights. I think it was full time of the day, and she can't explain that. It's just this object, and it was like, I think it was below we were looking across the canyon, and it was below the horizon of the rock canyon wall on the other side. So it was, it wasn't, it was a pretty big canyon, so it's not that close, but that was one thing. So that was another one for her. And then for me, the second one, I was living in Ohio, and we had just got a job up in Michigan. I was in the process of commuting back and forth on the weekends while we were trying to sell our house. So I was traveling home on some country roads from Detroit to Columbus. It was in the middle of the country, and it was probably, I don't know, at least 10 o'clock. It was pitch. It was very dark, and I was going through some small towns and no lights, and then all of a sudden, boom! This thing popped in front of my headlights, and I kind of ducked like I was going to hit it, And my best explanation of it is it was like a silvery band, flimsy band. At the time, I didn't know what it was, and I thought, hold it, is this some baling, some kind of new baling wire? The wind was blowing hard. It was a gusty, blustery night, and I thought that this thing was caught up by the wind, and it was this constantly moving. It was like a loop, but it was all, it wasn't round, but it was all like in a band. And I kind of ducked, and a silvery type of thing, and I thought it would make a noise as I hit it, but I didn't hear a noise, didn't make any noise. So either it blew over my car, and anyways, I still to this day cannot figure out what that thing could be. This big band, about the size of, big enough for my car to drive through if it was stretched out, tautly. It was probably about the size of the front to back profile of my, not profile, but what do you call it? My car. And yet it didn't make a noise, and it startled me. So that was number 2. And then number 3, we had moved to Salt Lake, moved back to Salt Lake, and we're in an apartment in South Jordan. And I won't name the apartment. But anyways, my wife kept telling me that she, in the middle of the night, she'd like get up to go to the bathroom or whatever, and in the middle of the night would hear what sounded like alien communication. Almost electronic kind of noise. Not like a spoken language, but it was, my wife claims it was coming from the mouth. I don't know if she saw his lips moving when this happened. We had right next to our apartment was a vacant apartment, which the apartment complex used as a showroom. And the handyman, or the hired hand, whatever he's called, the local handyman, a very nice guy, I think he was a foreigner from probably Eastern Europe, kind of had that kind of look to him. I can't remember having a conversation with him, but pleasant guy. But my wife said it's coming from him. And then one morning I should say, maybe 5 a.m., my wife wakes me up. Mark, come listen to this. And I went into the bathroom. Again, I could not see him. I could not see him or a human being with lips moving or anything like that. But I heard this metallic sound, like I said, this communication. It almost sounded like a radio. This otherworldly sound. But it was obviously some sort of communication, but it didn't sound like a spoken language. It almost sounded like electronic equipment or it was the strangest thing. And to this day, I can't figure out what it is. This is run 9 minutes. So let's see, 33rd. Okay, I'll stay on the low roads. You take the low roads and I'll take the high roads, and I'll be something to Dublin before you are. I don't know. Anyway, so those are my 3 kind of strange experiences that I still cannot to this day figure out what they must be. I tend to be one of those persons that I don't doubt aliens, but I'm one of those kind of. My first guess is of human origin once I hear something like that, and especially when we know about the distances and the time it takes to travel from galaxy to galaxy. I just can't figure out what the physics would be that these aliens would be traveling from another galaxy or whatever and coming here and visiting us and not making themselves obviously known. I don't doubt in it. I believe that there's other life in the solar system and possibly more intelligent life, but I would like to think that they were humanoid. Children of our same God, and so I don't obviously jump to those conclusions. I don't know. What is this? Another planet? Is this some sort of an accident? I got stuck in a traffic jam coming down here this morning. Let's see, it's 11 minutes. But the other day, I love Tucker Carlson, and even Tucker was talking about aliens and it's getting to the point where we can't doubt it and this and that and the other, and something about these life forms maybe living below the ocean or something like that. I don't know. I'm one of those that say, anything is possible, but I don't, rush out and automatically believe something like that. But anyways, and same with spirits and ghosts and things. I don't doubt any of that kind of stuff, but a lot of these ghost programs, my daughters love them. They tease you, and they never deliver. I'm trying to get a film of these ghosts or whatever, and so it's kind of fun to talk about, though, and I don't mind watching a show like that. What do we have here? Some sort of accident? Okay. All right. So I'm going to make that my first video. We have I don't know if you call it paranormal, unexplainable paranormal, or I don't know if any of those come into that category technically, but what I've given you. I would love to hear if any of you have any other explanation of those things that I have experienced. 3 things I'd love to hear about. Thank you. Bye-bye.